welcome to a new week. This is Joy News Interactive, and I'm Benis Abubedi. You're live on the Joy News channel on Multi-TV, also on DSTV channel 421, Go TV channel 144, and we're also streaming live on Facebook, Joy News on TV. Now, let's start today with some news that many have described as soothing. You may want to call it probably social media gets results. Now, a couple of weeks ago, when the news broke of a possible levy to tow cars that break down on the road, many resisted the policy because they said it was rushed, it was not necessary, but that it be compulsory. They argued that it was out of place and asked government to rescind its decision. Well, fast forward Sunday, August 20th, 2017, we hear some news that government has decided to discontinue the toll levy. Now, a statement released and signed by Transport Minister Kweku Ofori-Esiama explained public resistance against the levy was enough to dissuade the government. The minister said it will scrap the legislative instrument LI 2180 backing the implementation of the mandatory toll levy. Good move? Well, like I said, some will consider it social media gets results, because there was this conversation that erupted on social media and people were, actually posting to resist this particular move. Let's get back to social media where maybe the fight all began. And let's see what some of you have been saying. Moral Hussaini says, fantastic news. This is indeed a listening government who always listens to the concerns of ordinary Ghanaians, not the Yentiobia syndrome. God bless Nanado. God bless Ghana. Or Bing Stephen said, that's good, but this shows that all our flaws, bad laws and pile-up debts that's facing the country is as a result, he says, of useless and selfish people we vote to represent us in parliament. How can you pass such a wicked law for just a few people to enjoy? Okay, he goes on to say the former government is a curse to the nation. John Kwache says, anytime the MPP is cautioned about irresponsible behavior, they flip the files to tell Ghanaians they couldn't be the originators. But whenever they introduce a bestowed policy and it's accepted by Ghanaians, they never mention the actual originators of such policies. This is certainly an unacceptable propaganda. Truth reigns. Actually, 5 replies to that. I'm sure there's a lot of back and forth going on there. But Nana Iyabua Esiama says, no more dead goat syndrome. They are gone and gone for good. Ghana will surely work again under this current leadership. And, he follows it with a hashtag, still underscore the underscore battle there. And hey, please, some of the hashtags, very interesting ones. Anyway, Kofi Erike says, this is a government that listens to its people. Not Yanum Yentiobia. Well done, Nana. My next vote is for you and your MPP party for listening to us. Awesome. Hashtag Nada succeed. Victor Ampong says some people must grow up from their childish mentality. And to tell you the truth, some of our children are more mature and intelligent than most of the adults. What is making Victor say this? Well, he says some comments made are very despicable. That tells you who you are as a person. Though each and everyone is entirely responsible for their actions, we shouldn't act insanely, okay? It's their time, allow them to govern. I'm sure he's responding to some comments he doesn't really appreciate on this matter. Mark King Africia says, the MPP is only puzzling the minds of Ghanaians. John Mahama saw it and closed his eyes. Small and babies with sharp publishing brains try to defend the scores without considering the impact on their governors. The living conditions now to average Ghanaian is hand to mouth. Okay, quite difficult to understand what Mark is trying to say, but well, that's his opinion. Winam Baba Ramadan says that's a good decision by the government, but how can we be sure of the authenticity of this letter? Is dated a Sunday, no file number. Okay, well, we've actually done our checks, and Baba Ramadan, this letter is authentic, so you know. Ishmael Mohammed Oboish says, the MPP government were never the architects of this toll levy, so don't call it a back down. Government for the people, okay? Malcolm X Mouthpiece says, another memo will be released on a week before elections 2020, stating that government has decided to suspend the fight against Galamsey. Okay, Malcolm, I don't know if you're trying to be sarcastic. I don't get this. But Abebio Kofi Oting says, well, I must say it probably wasn't easy for the government, but nonetheless, they listened to the people they represent. Just hope the minority doesn't turn it into a we won, you lost kind of thing. Owusu Boating says, am I the only person who sees the world? This continues. Okay, all right. Whoever thought Ghanaians were going to accept this policy was dreaming. Sure, he's spell checking that letter there. Eric Poor says, we are smarter than this PR gimmick. That's the Minister for Transport work on Sunday. And since when do they issue letters without reference numbers? Pippin Sedut and Hamilton actually responds to Eric's comment, says, calls him an ignoramus, says governance ceases to run on weekends, says, now what for you? Betty Manuel says, so you are here too. You know I must reply you for my name to appear. Okay, Duke says, seriously, the level of ignorance some Ghanaians show on social media sometimes baffles me. All right, Nana Mofa Dieto says, better now we are all citizens, not spectators. If Ghanaians can unite with one voice and demand anything from our government, we are sure to get it. And there he quotes the president who quoted another president, citizens, not spectators. Well, away from that, let's talk about a very interesting issue. What's the worst punishment meted out to you, and how will you feel if your boss punishes you for reporting to work late? We know that thing happened in primary and high school. You know, there was one time I was late for school and I got the beating of my life. But talking about this happening in the work environment, well, some people in China are angry because a 15-year-old girl has just died 10 days after she was told to do deep squats by her real estate agent boss in southeastern China. Reports say she quit her studies around half a year ago and started working to earn money to pay off her father's medical bills. The teenager, nicknamed Jiao Fei, was working at Sunny Garden office belonging to a real estate agency, and well, her father told a reporter that his daughter was punished for being late to work at the end of July. She was asked by her manager to do 100 deep squats in the morning. 100 deep squats. Well, unfortunately, that led to her death. So on J&I today, we are asking, have you ever been punished for reporting to work late? I'm just waiting to hear what some of you have to say about this. But Samuel Jr. says, being late for work is another sad this thing. Oh, I love Ghana. I just love Ghana. It's a sad this thing. My boss will show you the exit and will add, go and sleep early and come back at 6 a.m. as your punishment. Meanwhile, work begins at 8:30. Wow. Desmond Oakley says, it reminds me of Agnes Yamu of blessed memory at Golden Child Preparatory School inside Cove City. For her, she will say, pack your things and go home. Philip Ahuma says, not in the Ghanaian public sector, where workers who are truant take awards as best workers just because they belong to a ruling party. Philip, you know, when we make some of these allegations, I wish that we would just add some evidence to it, you know, to mention a name. Let's do some cross-checking, you know. I don't know if you know someone who actually did this and went scot-free. But Yabua Solomon says the boss should be forced to do 100 times that of the girl, and says the boss is so heartless. Prince Noordin Baumia says, I haven't experienced such a punishment in my life before. And Vivian thinks, well, this is just a story. And Idrisu Saib says, this wickedness must stop. Now let's stick to issues concerning work. Sometimes we get tired and we need a break from work, isn't it? But it's difficult skipping work, so sometimes people tell lies to have their way. I'm just going to ask you, after finding out from you what your worst punishment for turning up to work late was, what's the biggest lie you've told to skip work? Well, let's get on to Facebook. This one says, I can't come into work today because a work of fiction has left me emotionally crippled. Interesting. But is that your boss's fault if you read a work of fiction and it got you emotionally crippled? Well, Philip again says, I had to travel with my father, so I decided telling my boss that my dad was not feeling well, and so I'll be taking him to my hometown for local treatment. Not knowing my dad was already with my boss seeking permission for me to escort him to a funeral. Oh my word. Philip, what did your boss do to you? Anyway, I mean, that's not a good virtue, is it? this honesty isn't. Desmond Oakley says, in 2011, when I was doing my attachment at the regional hospital in Koforidua, I informed my boss that I'll be traveling for some documents in Accra for an immediate employment, so it would take me some 3 days. I slept, sir. Okay, I like N. Alf's comment. Says, your new boss is reading. Guys, your new boss is reading, Desmond. He says, Asemo. I don't know, if I were Desmond, I'll just take that post off. I'll just delete it. He just says, Asemo, interesting. Jomo Yao says, I want to take mommy to the hospital just because I can't get over the imaginary events of the novel. Mensa Abrompa says, I told my boss the 9th, oh, okay, you actually had to go to the loo a lot of times, but you were lying. Oh, guys. Chris Long Life Mousy says, I told my boss Joy FM is not working on multi-TV DJ box, so I can't come to work. Okay, sarcasm, Chris, sarcasm. Anyway, Samuel Jr. says, I told my boss that I fell from a ladder, so I can't come to work while you were chilling with your girlfriend. And AJ Senior says, you told your boss you were pregnant. I don't know if AJ is a lady or a gentleman, but from the name, I don't know. Favor Debbie Hayfront says, I told her I'm in traffic. And Prince Nudin Bamia says, well, I haven't started work, so I don't have any story to share on a lie I told my boss. And Yeboah Solomon says he actually told his boss he was sick. Things people do for a break. Well, I'm taking a break now. I'll be back. We'll be talking about football, but that's not a lie. Thank you so much for staying here on Joy News Interactive. Let's do football now, and let's start from home. The local Black Stars, unfortunately, have missed out on a chance to represent the country in the 2018 CHAN tournament. Now, Ghana was eliminated 4-3 on aggregate after losing 2-1 at home to Burkina Faso. Now, some are blaming Coach Maxwell Konedu for this loss. We asked you on Facebook whether you agree with those blaming the coach. We know that the first leg, which was played in Ouagadougou, was 2-2. So what happened to our guys? Let's just get onto Facebook. Abednego Intre says, when you get comfortable with bad officiating and ridiculous penalties to please teams and supporters, your national team will become useless and suffer in international matches. And Faisal Abdul Raul sighs and says the local Black Stars should not follow the footsteps of the Black Stars, so they should look sharp. Philip Ahuma says, one coach, two deputy coaches, no fruitful result, taxpayers' money blown away without profit. Kwesi Appiah has not learned his lessons as he claims. It looks like Philip doesn't know that it's not actually Kwesi Appiah who's been blamed for this. It's Coach Maxwell Konedu. And well, Desmond Oakley says they should up their game next time. Kojo Anthony, how do you expect them to qualify when a so-called national television station was telecasting German Bundesliga instead of telecasting the match? And he actually shakes his head at his own comment. Good Mitze says, great news, more defeats for Ghana on the way. I don't know why Good is actually excited and calls this great news. Amos also says, applause. Yeboah Solomon says, yo, we thank them. Kojo Denzel says they should do their homework and come back next time. And Tete Isaac says, I have a package for them for the failure. And Prince Nuruddin Balmia says, let's hope for the best. Still on football, let's talk the English Premier League. You know, we entered day 2 with some interesting results. Chelsea has returned to winning ways in the English Premier League with a 2-1 win over Tottenham Hotspurs. Manchester United continued its fine form with a 4-0 thumping of Swansea. Do you think this pressure mounting up in the EPL will be sustained till the league ends? Well, I personally believe it's early days yet, but you know, I have friends who are Manchester United fans, and they are very excited by this. At least they've had 2 consecutive wins with 4 goals. Let's take a look at the highlights.
Chelsea were looking to bounce back from their shock loss to Burnley when they travelled to Wembley to take on fellow Londoners Spurs, who were using the iconic stadium as a temporary home. Spurs dominated the early exchanges, coming close to opening the scoring numerous times. However, it was the defending champions that struck first.
Oh, it's a gem! It is a Wembley gem and a half! Screamer from Marcos Alonso, and the champions lead Spurs at their new home.
Despite the setback, Spurs continued to attack, with Harry Kane hitting the post on the verge of half-time, as Chelsea went into the break holding on to their slim 1-0 lead. Spurs controlled the ball for large periods of the second half, completely dominating the possession stats. However, it was Chelsea that came close to doubling their lead, with Willian too finding the post. There was no post to save the Blues minutes later, as striker Michy Batshuayi put the ball into the back of his own net. The deadlock didn't last long.
Slipped in here for Alonso! Squeezed it in! Thrillingly for Chelsea! They turn Wembley blue again! It's his day! Chelsea's day! 3 minutes from 3 points! Marcos Alonso!
Chelsea pulling off a hard-fought but entertaining 2-1 victory.
Week 2 of the Premier League season opened at the Liberty Stadium in Wales. Swansea had only lost 3 of their 14 home games against Manchester United in all divisions and picked up a point away to Southampton last weekend. The Swans came out with intent, Jordan Ayew's effort skimming the crossbar in the 3rd minute. At the other end, the Red Devils also threatened Phil Jones with the effort, but no goals to show for a lively opening period. The Swans had not kept a clean sheet against United in 14 meetings since a goalless top-flight draw in December 1982. They conceded just before the break.
Blint with outswing and Pogba against the bar! And it's followed in by Eric Bailly. And Manchester United finally pierced the Swansea rearguard.
Romelu Lukaku grabbed the headlines in United's opening game against West Ham with a brace. The former Everton man scored number 2.
The Qatarian, Lukaku must! That's what he's there for! He's not failed them yet!
And there was time for 2 more. From the restart, the ball fell kindly for Paul Pogba.
And Pogba, delightful! That's a sweet, sweet goal!
And another 4-0 victory was sealed by Anthony Martial. 2 from 2, Manchester United looking solid, having scored 8 goals without reply.
I'm sure you must be excited if you're a Manchester United fan. But the question I ask, do you think this pressure mounting up in the EPL will be sustained till the league ends? Let's get some answers on Facebook. Kalai Obed says, I don't think so. Once injuries and fatigue sets in, teams like United will start returning to diminishing status, but let's see how it goes. Oh, why are you picking on Manchester United? Oh, Charlie. Yeah, Frimpon says, my blood is blue, my heart is blue, everything about me is blue. Chelsea, Chelsea, Chelsea. Conte doesn't talk in situations like this. We'll see at the end of the league. Aido Emmanuel says, Chelsea just need Hazard to be fit and Bakayoko fully fit, and the league title will be ours again. And in him, Isaac actually agrees with him, says exactly. Desmond Oakley says, cheer for where? Chelsea, they were very fortunate to have that goal, but still, Chelsea be a bunkele. Oh, and him, Isaac says, observers are worried. Kwabna Ampoma Boahing says, that goal, they had 3 and gave Spurs 1. Okay. And Richmond Brady says, it will, surely be sustained as Chelsea is going to win the rest of their games. I like your passion with which you're predicting. Kata NSS, the EPL has never been dull. Pressure from day 1 till the last week. President Dimbamia thinks, well, will the pressure diminish? Well, would it be sustained? Only God knows. Kojo Denzo says, yes, Chelsea all the way. Bam. Very interesting comments there, but yeah, we'll live to see. Will it still be like this or will it diminish? I don't know. But some of you think that Chelsea will still retain that title. And others think, no, it will be a different story. Fingers crossed. but I'll be watching the EPL every step along the way, and I hope you'll be doing so too. Thank you very much for your company on this edition of Joy News Interactive. It's always a pleasure to come your way and to hear what you have to say about issues that are trending. That'll be all for this edition. My name is Benis Abubedu. Don't forget, we are still interactive on Facebook. We are Joy News on TV. On Twitter as well, we are Joy News on TV. I'll be back at 12 with the midday news. See you then.